Everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to get a really cool chance to check out Rheannon here and her cool Class C motorhome. So Rheannon, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
She is in this beautiful Class C. When I first saw the inside of it, I was just so impressed by just the decor. Like, it's very visually appealing. Mine isn't. Mine's very functional, but this one is just beautiful. And so I've been very impressed with this. And how long have you been on the road?
I bought the rig in January 2019. A friend of mine wanted to travel as well, so we decided we were gonna just rent an RV for a weekend.
Okay.
To see if we could actually.
And how did that go?
It was amazing. We had the best time. So from there, we were just like, okay, we're just gonna save everything, make this a reality. The initial plan was to be on the road for 1 year.
And how long has it been then?
And it's been about 3.5 now.
Perfect. That is the case with so many times that I, for myself or other people, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna give it a try for a year. It's an addicting lifestyle. It is such, you just learn so much when you're out here.
Yeah.
So how did you first think about RVs though? Like, did you see someone else doing it?
Around that time, it was like everybody was doing the tiny homes.
Oh yeah.
And that's what kind of started. And I initially was like, well, I'd like to build my own tiny home.
Okay.
Then I started, researching all of that and the time and the effort. My dad's a carpenter, so I figured he could help me with all of that. But
of course.
The tiny homes aren't really meant to move as much as like an RV is supposed to move.
Very true.
So then by the time it came that I was, had a stack of cash and ready to hit the road and ready to get something, it was just like, I want to go now. I don't want to have to renovate anything. I don't want to wait.
Okay.
Let me just get something that is suitable. And through, I had my friend was living with me for the first 9 months. Okay. So in choosing this particular model, it had a lot to do with the fact that somebody else was going to be living with me.
Okay. How so?
Bathroom in the middle instead of in the bedroom. A lot of smaller Class Cs, the bathroom is in the bedroom area. So with having somebody else, you just don't want to be interrupted at night when somebody's using the bathroom, and we both wanted to kind of have our own space.
Yeah, and so that person had the front of the rig and you had the back of the rig, and then you met in the middle for the kitchen and a bathroom.
Yeah.
Tell us about your RV as far as year, make, model. What kind of RV is this that we're in?
Okay, it's a 2014 Freedom Elite. It's a 27-foot Class C.
Okay.
It's made by Thor. It's got a Ford 450 Super Duty engine. It's actually a V10, which is great and allows me to tow my now new Jeep that you've seen.
That's right. Okay.
That's much heavier than my old little two-door Jeep that I had.
Yeah. So yeah, with such a big engine, you don't have to worry about what weight you can tow behind you.
I mean, there's always limits.
Okay.
The limits on this is 7,500.
That's a lot.
And the Jeep Gladiator that I have now is 5,800 pounds.
So were you looking at any other types of motorhomes or like trailers when you first decided to hit the road?
No, I knew I wanted a Class C. Okay. That's what we rented. We had a good time in it. Also, if we're driving, somebody wants something to eat, you can just say,
boogie in the back,
get back there and give me some food, or, just making snacks, or even something as simple like I have to go to the bathroom all the time. So just pulling over and being able to like have that access is
That's
great.
Key.
And now that I've been doing this for so long, I don't think I would have chosen anything different than I did. My whole thing is national parks. I want to get to all the national parks. Okay. And in a lot of national parks, there's restrictions on where you can and can't go in your RV.
True.
A lot of those are 4x4 off-roading trails. So a Jeep was logical. It's easy to tow because you can just set it in neutral, and it can go anywhere. So it kind of took me from being limited to where I could go to be able to go anywhere and everywhere.
What's one of the coolest things you've learned since being on the road, or surprises maybe?
I think Escapers is probably one of the coolest things.
Okay.
So Escapers, if you don't know, is a community, working age, full-time RVers, and it took me a long time to find it. I was solo traveling for quite some time before I found Escapers, but it's really, I felt like I was missing a community.
Very good, yeah.
So I feel like that had really allowed me to make friends and have friends to travel with, and instead of just always kind of being on my own.
I think a lot of people out there, they have different ways of getting community, right? Like Escapers, or people go to the RTR, or they do van meetups, whatever. There's a lot of ways of meeting people, and that's just one of them. I think that's great.
Yeah.
How do you make a living? Like, what do you do for work, or do you work?
Yep, I do work. I do video editing.
Oh, okay.
I do have my own YouTube channel, which I edit videos for that, but I also just take on small contracts and projects for other companies that might be looking to beef up their social media.
Okay.
Or, you know, need some specific type of video.
Okay. And so with that, you don't have a 9-to-5 job then. You're not beholden to that. You can do it whenever you want. You can do it in evenings or weekends or whatever.
Right, which is great because if I want to go to a national park or do some sort of hike or kayak during the day, I can do that, and then I can work at night or in the early mornings.
So Rheannon, tell me, you know, being out on the road for almost 4 years now, what do you do for play? Like, what is your hobbies that you like to do? What is it that you enjoy doing?
Yeah, one of the things that really excited me about this lifestyle in particular, I thought, if I could do anything, what would it be? And for me, at that point anyways, the answer was a different hike every day in a different place.
Cool.
So that's what really got me excited. That's also what got me into the national parks. So I love hiking. I love exploring the national parks. This country has so much to offer that most people barely scratch the surface of.
Absolutely.
And then now kayaking is kind of taken priority over the hiking. I just learned to love that so much. It's so peaceful, it's beautiful, and
beautiful areas.
Beautiful areas, great places to go kayak. I mean, I've done some amazing kayaks that I never even considered before.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and take a look at your rig, and because again, I love just the visual appeal of it and the modifications that you've done. So I'd love to hear more about it. So let's go ahead and do a tour.
All right.
What's the area that we're looking at right now?
So this is a guest room. It's also Sven's room. I travel with my 5-year-old Sphinx cat.
Excellent.
So most of the time, this is his room. Actually just installed this fan, which...
Oh, the ceiling fan.
Yes. It's a max air fan, and it makes all the difference in the world for ventilation, because before it was just a vent.
Okay.
So having that fan to get some air circulation in here. Right here originally was a chair, just a fabric chair, and I didn't really have a use for that, but I do a lot of makeup, so put this little makeup station in here.
Because you had a hobby of doing kind of like interesting makeup.
Yeah, like special effects makeup. Halloween's my favorite time of year. You get to, you know, be creative and, you know, transform into whatever you feel like transforming into.
Absolutely. How much of the time do you spend boondocking versus being in campground?
Now I'm trying to boondock as much as possible. I installed solar last year in November, which has made all the difference in the world. I was so over the campgrounds, you know, they were great, but...
Was it the cost or just being so close to your neighbors, or what was the downside?
The cost is one thing. It definitely adds up. It's a way to save money for sure, which is nice. There's a lot of rules, and you're also very close to people. I found that boondocking, I end up meeting people that are more like myself. And instead of campgrounds, it's a little bit different of a crowd than the boondocking crowd, I guess. It's just nice to be out in the middle of nowhere and be able to come and go as you please. You don't have to check in or out at a certain time.
Now, you said when you had someone living with you for the first 9 months, is that where they slept up there?
Yeah. So this was her room, and right here we actually made a closet for her. So this wasn't here until it was just me.
When you originally bought this, what was a color palette inside here?
Right. It was all brown and beige, and it actually took me quite some time. I didn't end up changing anything really except for this little spot until this past winter, actually. But I started with this peel and stick tile. That was my first thing that I ended up doing. If you are planning on doing peel and stick tile, I would recommend also getting wallpaper adhesive, because these, with the fluctuations in temperatures that we face in RV life, they get hot, they get cold, they start coming off the walls. So in a lot of areas, I just took wallpaper adhesive, put it on the back, stuck them back up, and haven't had any problems. So
everything was brown and beige before, and now it's is it a dark brown or black?
It's black. It's matte black. A lot of people go for the white, but for me and with my cat, we're just dirty all the time. There's dust everywhere. I thought black would hide a lot of that a little bit better, and it's just a lot more in my personal style. So I painted the cabinets black here. I painted these ones this emerald green color. I also reupholstered all the valances. And then on these curtains, I actually just sewed this onto the old curtain because it already had the hooks up here to make it a little bit easier. This is my living room.
And Sven the cat.
My office.
Where you do most of your work?
Yeah, this is where I spend most of my time. It's just the most open. This is on a slide, so it adds, you know, a few extra feet.
Okay.
But yeah, I spend most of my time here. I sit here and I do my work. I have a little lap desk. I eventually want to get a lagoon table that comes up, but
down the road.
This whole thing is a work in progress.
They always are.
You know.
And tell me about this wallpaper that you used as well.
Yeah, it's a black gator. And I just found it really appealing, and I thought it would go well with the rest of the decor that we have going on. So. Yeah.
And then you have a huge whiteboard. I think that was really cool.
This is what I call the command center.
All right.
So I'm able to really keep track of exactly where I'm going. It changes a lot, so you can just erase it, write something new. When I first started traveling, I would have a set plan. Like everything was planned, where I was staying, where I was going. Now it's more of a loose plan because I change my mind all the time. I have friends that are doing the same lifestyle, and they're like, hey, come over here. So I'll just erase it and go over there instead of doing what I had originally planned. But
nomad life.
This thing is great. It's from Amazon, and it's been sticking on there for years now. No problems whatsoever. I have my national park map to keep track of all my national parks, so I can see where I've been and where else I want to go.
Do you know how many you've been to so far?
I think it's 36 out of the 63.
Now show me your kitchen area.
Yeah.
And what's your, I mean, it's a beautiful kitchen. Again, everything is very appealing here. I see your plants. Those are all alive?
Yep. They're all alive. I just like the, the feel of having a little nature inside.
Absolutely. Now, when you travel, do all those go down on the floor, or are they stuck to the countertop?
All of these go in the sink.
They go in the sink. Okay.
Yeah, these go in the sink. Some of them will go in my shower.
All right.
But most of them just go in the sink, and then they're packed in enough to where they can't move, and they travel safely that way.
All right.
Yeah.
And then you painted the cabinets here at the bottom?
Yes.
Okay. That's a gorgeous color. I like that. And you said that was a peel and stick?
It's a peel and stick, yeah.
Okay. And what would that be? Like if someone wanted to buy that, is that like a backsplash, or what are they?
Yeah, just a kitchen backsplash. I wanted green and I wanted black. So when I found this, I was just like, that's the one. But it's on Amazon, just peel and stick kitchen tile. Yeah. I like the stovetop, but I don't really use the oven. So I would like to just get maybe 2 eyes instead of 3 here, and then a little cubby for like my air fryer, because I use that more. Usually I eat at home, just save money. But when I'm with friends and stuff, I do like to go out. Sometimes I'll go out by myself. Sometimes it's just too hot to cook anything and you just want something quick. But most of the time I just eat at home.
So you have a very large refrigerator.
Yeah.
That's excellent. And then is it off of propane, I'm assuming?
It's both. So you can run it off propane. Right now it's run off propane because I'm on solar right now. If I were to plug in, I can run it off power.
Gotcha.
But this particular model really drains my solar, so I can't run the power setting off the solar or my battery, or they'll just be dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's before we go further, let's talk about your solar a little bit. Do you know how many watts you have on top?
Either 1200 or 1300 watts.
Okay.
I have 3 Lion batteries, and that's 300 amp hours.
Okay. And those are lithium ion.
Yes. And I can use my hair fryer, I can dry my hair, I can use the microwave, whatever I need to do on my solar.
Do you have an inverter as well, I'm assuming?
I do now. I didn't before.
Oh.
So before, if I was boondocking, I'd have to turn on the generator to use any of the plugs, any of the power, anything. So with the solar, that gave me the inverter. Now I just roll up and I'm set and ready to go. I also painted the cabinets in here and did the peel and stick tile and the wallpaper.
Oh, so it's still the gator wallpaper.
Yeah.
All right.
With such a small space, you kind of have to keep the same theme going.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a lot more space in here than you can see my bad paint job. Don't use painter's tape. It's horrible.
Okay, good to know.
Cut an edge yourself. So it's a normal toilet. This door always stays open, and the lid is always up on my toilet because Sven uses the toilet. So
Your cat uses the toilet.
I train him to use the toilet. He'll use the toilet or he'll go outside, which is great. So I don't have to have a litter box, nothing like that. It's just a priority that this always stays open, so if he needs to go, he can get to the bathroom.
Now I know that's an issue a lot of people say with having a cat on the road is having a place with a litter box.
Right.
That solves that problem.
Problem solved, yeah.
That's excellent.
This is the bedroom. This is the color that all the cabinets were before I painted anything, so I've still yet to renovate this part.
Okay.
Still trying to figure out exactly what I want to do.
So this is the original colors up here that you then painted black and accented with emerald.
Right. So I have hanging storage, and then there's just so much storage in here for all of my clothes and things.
Sven the cat,
yes,
we have.
the baby.
And yeah, this actually does have a ton of storage. Now, is there storage underneath the bed as well?
No. So one of the good features about this particular model is that my freshwater tank is under here.
Oh.
I don't do a lot of camping in the winter, but if I did, that prevents my freshwater tank from freezing because it's going to be like closer to the temperature.
That makes sense. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about insulating it because it's already comes insulated.
And I did install tank heaters on both of my tank heaters just in case cold weather happens.
Okay.
You don't want any of those things freezing. So that was another mod that I ended up doing. But I'm not the most comfortable in cold weather, so I usually tend to stick to the warm and sunny.
I think Sven would appreciate that too.
Yes, he gets very cold.
Right, Sven? Hey, Bubba. So, you know, tying in with the storage you just showed me in the bedroom, what's the storage like on the outside?
There's quite a few little pockets down on the bottom, but I call it the basement.
Yeah.
It's underneath the bed. It's huge. It goes all the way through from one side to the next. So it's kind of like a black pit of where all my gear goes. You know.
So it's like a normal garage in a house where it's just everything else goes or in your attic or whatnot.
Yeah.
Rhiannon, thank you so much for opening your home to us, showing us what it's like in here, giving us a quick tour. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming.
Folks out there, what did you think of all the remodeling that she did in here? What was your favorite part? The cabinets, the kitchen area? I personally love the aqua emerald color of the cabinets and so forth. Let us know in the comments below. We would love to hear from you guys. If you got something out of this video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, we'll see you guys all down the road. Bye guys.